What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this game 7 for the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Clippers. Right, going into this game, I had a bad feeling. Like I'm not a Clippers fan, but going into this game, I knew this game was going to be tough for the Clippers to come out with a victory, right? And not only did I feel like that, but Clippers fans also felt like that. Like I was talking to some guys who like the Clippers, and they just felt they didn't really feel that the Clippers stood a good chance because the Clippers, number one, this game was in Denver, and it's a game 7. So anytime game 7, most likely the home team, the home team got a big advantage. So, and I didn't have a good feeling about it. Clipper fans ain't have a good feeling about it, and things didn't really turn out good at all for the Clippers. Right now, I don't, I don't think it was more about how the Clippers played. I just think it was more like I don't think like the Clippers lost the game. I think the Denver Nuggets just really just played out of their minds, man. And like I said, a big part of that was the fact that they was playing at home and everybody was comfortable. Like I thought that if the Clippers lost, it was going to be because James Harden played a terrible game, right? And because James Harden in the past in the playoffs has been known to not really, sometimes he's shrinking those big moments. Now, don't get me wrong, he didn't play out of his mind, but I don't think he played a really really bad game either. I don't think what's the other guy, Powell? He didn't really play a bad game. Now, Powell, who plays for the Clippers, I didn't really expect a lot from him either, especially on the road. Like in game 6, and they played in Los Angeles, he really got off in game 6. But I knew that he wasn't going to be able to do that, um, you know, in Denver. So, I didn't really expect a lot from him either. Zubac for the Clippers, I didn't really expect, he played his normal game. He do, what he usually do. Kawhi, Kawhi played a good game, right? But the thing about Kawhi is he was he was really locked up in a battle with that guy Aaron Gordon, right? And so I'm gonna talk a little bit more about Aaron Gordon, but Kawhi had his hands full at both ends. He had to go hard on the offense because Aaron Gordon wasn't just giving him anything, and then he had to really play Aaron Gordon on the other end, which I think Aaron Gordon probably got the better of that matchup on the offensive end. So yeah, as far as like the Clippers played, and I know they got beat by like 20 something points, I think at least, right? Almost 30 points really. But like I said, I just think that the Clippers, their back was up against the wall, and Denver took advantage of being at home. Now, talking about Denver, man. First off, the Joker throughout this series, the Joker, I don't think the Joker really had a bad game in this series. And so Joker really he did what he always do. So that going in, I mean, everybody knew that the Joker was just going to do what he did. But Aaron Gordon, the way he played at both ends, man, it's just he catching alley oops on one end, then he go down and he played Kawhi tough on the other end. That's they if they play like this for the rest of these playoffs, the Denver Nuggets are going to really be tough to beat. They're going to be tough to beat if they can play the way they played tonight, and throughout the rest of these playoffs. They're going to be tough to beat. And really, actually, I think if the Denver Nuggets can play like this and say they meet the Celtics in the championship, that'll be a good series if Denver can play like this. Because I mean, Denver just balled out. Like I said, Aaron Gordon, if he play like this version of Aaron Gordon looked like the version of Aaron Gordon when Denver won the championship. So Aaron Gordon showed up and showed out. Then the dude, Michael Porter Jr., he did his thing. You know, he got into the mix. He was hitting, you know, he knocked down a few threes. And again, Michael Porter Jr., he's good on offense, really good on offense, knocking down threes, and he plays solid defense. So that, you know, that's why they had such a lead, because every time this game really was only close to like the first quarter, a little bit into the second quarter, it was close. Then after that, you see Denver just gradually start to separate themselves, because usually teams go on a throughout this game, they was just steady. They kept the pressure on the Clippers throughout the game. They was just steady, 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 and that lead just gradually grew. Sometimes, you know, like one team will go on a run, then another team will go on a run, but uh Denver Nuggets just didn't, you know, they never hit like a dry period. They just kept on building and building and building, you know, and so everybody contribute. And that's the thing, like when you have a great point guard like that guy, Joker, like, you know, he just kept everybody involved. Like when Michael Porter was open, he gave him the ball. Michael Porter just hit the shot. Um, the dude, what's his name? Gordon. Again, Aaron Gordon, when he slashed into the boards and he opened for alley oop, that's what he got. And then the dude, what's the dude named Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray did his thing, and see, again with Jamal Murray, I think Jamal Murray, the way he has played in this series, if he continue to play like this, Denver is just going to be tough to beat. They're going to be tough to beat. Jamal Murray made some man, some crazy baskets, some clutch baskets throughout this series, and then he didn't really let him down at all with you know, in game 7. He didn't let him down at all in game 7. So, and then you got Westbrook. I like Westbrook on this team because Westbrook energy, you know, like at times when you Westbrook, his energy is really going to is really going to come in handy, and it's going to spark the team. So Westbrook energy at both ends, I thought was you know, was big too. So yeah, man, this Denver team, what I seen tonight, this Denver team really gonna be they're gonna be tough to beat in the playoffs. And I know that Denver got OKC in the next round. I'm looking forward to that. OKC, you know, and Denver, and that, whoa, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be a tough matchup right there. Denver and OKC in the next round. But yeah, man, I just think that if Denver continues to play like this, OKC is in trouble. And not only is OKC in trouble, but my my Golden State Warriors, like, I don't know who provided Golden State was able to get past Houston, which they play Houston Sunday. Man, I don't know who I would prefer for Golden State to face. Would I prefer them to face Denver or OKC? Fortunately, they don't have to face both of them, but you're gonna have to go through one of these guys if one of these teams, if you want to get it in, you know, if you want to get into the championship. But OKC and Denver, man, boy, that's gonna be tough. Man, I don't know. I'm not even going right now. I'm not gonna pick who I like between OKC and Denver until I'm gonna pick right before the game. I'm not even gonna be like one of those guys who say, "All right, man, I'm gonna wait till game 1 and I'm gonna just to get a feel for it." I don't like when other people do that. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna wait until like just before the start of the game, the series, before I make my pick, because that's gonna be a tough one. I just need to really just think on that for a minute. about who I like out of OKC and the Denver Nuggets. I know it's gonna be a tough matchup though. Yeah, I got to really think about that, man. But yeah, I think that getting back to that game 7, I just think that Denver just play out of their mind. They just play out of their mind, and they gradually built that lead. They never had like they never went into a drought, and the Clippers never really got to a point where they could just, they was never really to make a run at them after that. Once that first quarter was over with, they wasn't able to make a run. Usually, you see both teams make a run, and then somebody just assert themselves or come out on top in the end. But the Nuggets, man, they just look like like I said, the Nuggets who won that championship back in the day, a few years ago, a couple years ago with these guys, man. And if you got these guys playing like this, OKC is everybody in the West is in trouble when you got the rest of these guys on Denver playing like this. And so, yeah, man, that's my take on it. I'm looking forward to Denver and OKC. Like I said, I'm gonna make my picks right before this series start, who I think is going to win. But yeah, it was a great game for Denver fans. And that's my take on it. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.